My name is Kyle Bickham. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Buna, Texas, Southeast Texas. Uh, I had a good childhood. I was taken in by my grandparents when I was 3 months old. My dad and my mom, they weren't together. They both had their own issues going on. They were into a lot of drugs, a lot of partying, and there just really wasn't any room for a child in their life. I don't hold any hard feelings. I sometimes as I was growing up, it was always real rough for me to deal with. My grandparents did the best. They did amazing by me. They supported everything I needed to do, everything I wanted to do. They gave me everything I needed. I didn't want for anything. My grandma, she worked 2 jobs. She drove a bus and cleaned houses for years just to take care of me. This 3-month-old kid come into her life completely unexpected, and they took care of me the best they could, and they did a great job. It's just as I got older, I started getting more rebellious. I started fights. By the age of 12, I was dipping and drinking all the time, sneaking out. I come from a country background, I guess you'd say. I was raised in the sticks, bonfires, big trucks, cold beer. It's what we did. That's how we did. That's what we did for fun. Start fights. I kind of let the lifestyle take over, and it went from me starting fights and drinking to going out and partying all week long. You name it, I've done it. I tried to get my hands on any drug I could, and I always said I was just doing it for fun. Didn't have a problem. I always told everybody, they would tell me, if there's any unresolved issues with your parents, we need to deal with that. My parents, they both passed by the time I was 13. My dad, he died when I was 5. My mom, she died when I was 12. My mom, it was drug related. She overdosed on many kinds of drugs. She was a good woman. She just had a lot of demons of her own, and she served the Lord for a long time. But she would always relapse, fall off, and I had to watch her go through these spirals, through these battles, and it used to scare me as a kid. And I think I used it for a crutch for a long time of not being wanted, not being loved. I claimed that I was better off on my own. I didn't need anybody to hold me back. I was always real quick. I knew how to make money. I've always been a hard worker. I had a strong back, and I had all kind of skills. So it was easy for me to go out and make big bucks. But with that money, I never put it towards anything good. All I did was drink and use a lot of speed to further my partying. When my mom passed, a few weeks before my mom passed, I had a dream that she was. We were coming out of a supermarket, and someone pulled her into a car and drove away. And as I chased this car down the street, the faster I would run, the further the car would get from me. And it seemed like I ran forever, and this car would never stop. And it took my mom away. I woke up, and I was crying and bawling, and I can remember thinking about how tough, or how much I love my mom, but how much I felt she didn't love me. And when I found out she died, I'll never forget. I was in my room playing Grand Theft Auto. I couldn't even cry when they told me. I had no emotion. I didn't feel anything. It was almost like they had told me a stranger had passed. And I mean, it does hurt. And I love my mom. with everything, and I know she loved me, and I can't tell her, I can't go back and tell her that I'm sorry for the way I treated her, the things I said about her. I was so wrapped up in, oh, poor pitiful me, that towards the end, before she passed, I pushed her away. And I think about her every day. It's gotten to the point I can't even remember her voice. I wish I could have a chance to tell her I love her and that I'm gonna be alright. I always tell people, it's whatever. Losing people happens. Ain't no big deal. You gotta be a man about it. Shrug it off and keep going. But I can't tell you for how long I've cried myself asleep at night, just thinking about what would she say. How much did I disappoint her by living the life that I lived? And I know my mom would have loved me no matter what, but man, it's a tough road. I just wish, there are things I wish I could do over, but I know my God, He's got a plan. He does everything for a reason. And I've always been scared that what happened to her after death, but my God has told me I'm gonna see my mom again. My God restores everything, and everything's gonna be alright. One day I will walk with her, and she can see me grown, and she can see the man I've become. The way I heard about the Dream Center is about when I was about 22. My aunt had decided that it was time for me to seek help, try to get a closer walk with the Lord. There's a Dream Center in Alaska, and she gave me all this paperwork. I filled out the paperwork to go, but the closer it came for me to leave, the more I doubted the idea, until I finally pushed it away and ran for 2-3 more years, until she came to me one more time, begging me, my family begging me to get help. She told me about the Abilene Dream Center. I had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to turn, and I knew that my life was gonna end pretty quick, whether it be I'd be put in prison or I'd find a way to take it myself. I was in a downward spiral. I hated God. I hated myself. I hated everyone around me, and I knew it was time that something had to give. Before I arrived at the Abilene Dream Center, I was out in the world. I really didn't have a home. I had lost pretty much everything I had. I lost all my trucks, a home, jobs. I was bouncing from job to job. Things were just looking worse and worse. My family has always been there for me, but as they started to shut down on me, I guess you'd say, it became apparent that I was the problem. My family, who had done so much for me, that still loves me with no end, I had to watch them cry themselves to sleep. Their hearts were breaking. I was on such a self-destructive downward spiral that I was bringing my family down with me, and if they didn't push me away like they had, it scares me to think what I would have done to myself and my family. One night I went to my grandma's house, and this is the woman that raised me, the woman that sacrificed so much for me, and I'd hurt her so bad. I went to her house, and she told me, she said, "Kyle, you're breaking my heart. You have to get help." To to see the tears in her eyes, it is what it finally took to just break me and to realize that I wasn't a man, I wasn't tough, I wasn't helping anyone, and I definitely couldn't help myself. And that's when I finally decided the only answer had to be God. Since I've been here at the Dream Center, I feel I've done a complete 180. I went from having no hopes, no desires, no trust, and no love to every night I fall asleep with a smile thinking about how great my life is going to be. I think about what God has in store for me. I think of the family I'm going to be able to have one day because He come down and He died for me so that I could turn my life around. From when I had no hope, I was disgusted with myself. I would cry myself to sleep, and I didn't want to. I was at the point to where I did not want to live. I would beg God to take my life, and now I thank God for the life He has given me. I have so much potential now. I have so much to look forward to that I truly can't believe it. I never thought that I would be this guy that had everything going for him. I thought I would always be just that drunk, that loser, that no good. And now I can actually be a role model for someone. I can be a good husband. I can be a good father. It blows my mind to think that someone loved me that much to give me the opportunities that I have now. My graduation is right around the corner. This entire time I've been in the program, I've been praying to God, asking Him, what do you want me to do with my life? What plans do you have for me? Where do I need to go? Doors that should have never opened have been opened for me. I'll be moving to around Austin. I will be going to GT Austin. I'll be serving under the pastor there and trying to get involved in the church as much as they'll possibly let me. I'll start college. As soon as I get out, I'm going to become a Texas State game warden and be in ministry. I don't know what form of ministry yet, but I know one way or another I want to give back, and I was made to serve, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to serve until the Lord calls me to a certain area, and then I'm going to be led to wherever He needs me to be and be used however He wants me to be used. I want to apologize to my family, to all my friends that were right there with me trying to get me to get help. I want to apologize for pushing y'all away, for anything I may have done to hurt y'all. Most importantly, I want to apologize to my grandma. She's been through so much between the things that she went through with my mom, and then to have to watch me. She had to bury her child, and then to watch me take the same path, knowing what it leads to. I disrespected her. I hurt her. She would have to see me come in drunk and not blood on my hands, blood on my face. She would have to hear the horror stories of the things I was doing out there, starting fights, wrecking trucks. She didn't deserve to be put through any of that. She is an amazing woman, and I just want to apologize and tell you I love you. I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for never giving up on me, never turning your back on me, being tough when I needed it. I want to thank my entire family for praying for me and for trying to show me what the right way was. No matter how many times I pushed y'all away, cussed y'all out, whatever, through my fits, y'all were always right there, always willing to help me if I needed it. I want to thank the Dream Center. I want to thank Mike, Pastor Ray, Pastor Piscina. if it wasn't for y'all, Lord only knows where I'd be right now.